Hey everyone, my name is Milika. Today we are diving into some more lore dump from the Dragon Age series. If you haven't watched the non-spoilers part 1, feel free to check it before or after this video. Link is in the description or it will appear on your screen right now. If you're looking for a more detailed analysis, be sure to check out channels like Katie's channel. So the reason why I say this is because I won't be going into deep dives or anything, so remember, this is just a lore dump. This is just for your knowledge just before we play Dragon Age The Veilguard. Disclaimer, this video contains a lot of spoilers about both story and also footages. Click away if you don't want to be spoiled. And now, with the warning clear, it's time to grab your snacks, drinks, and let's get into it. So, before we go into anything, let's talk about the ancient Thedas.
Our people? The ones we see in the forest, shadows wearing Valisleen. You are not my people.
Long ago, the Elven people were deeply connected to the Faith. They interacted with spirits and everyone has connections to magic that people nowadays lack. They were even immortal. They don't have the dangers of aging. At that time, everything and everywhere is considered the Faith. But due to some events involving the Elven gods, one of them created the Veil and severed the connections between the people and the Faith. So in return, the elves lost their magic and immortality. The Veil is a magical barrier that separates the Faith from the physical worlds of Thedas of course, in the current modern Thedas, and it acts like a curtain, keeping the spirits and also the magic of the Faith from flooding into there. The Veil's presence makes it kinda tricky for spirits to cross over into Thedas, and sometimes if they do, they will twist into demons instead. Because of this barrier, spirits often influence the world through dreams rather than directly appearing in it. The Veil is essential for maintaining the balance between these two realms, really, in modern Thedas at least. It's what prevents the Faith from mixing directly with everyday life. Faith are more commonly known as something like the Dream Realm in today's Thedas, and dwarves who doesn't have the connection to the Faith cannot dream. That is basically the short version of the Veil's creation. We'll touch more on this later. And next up, we have the Blight. So what is the Blight? To start, we need to understand a few key things before we understand the Blight. So we have Darkspawn, we have Old Gods, and also the Grey Wardens. Darkspawn are this creepy, corrupted creature living underground, or they are usually found in the deep roads or in the wilderness in Thedas. They are pretty dangerous and always evil, I would say. And now, who are the Old Gods? Think of them as like ancient dragon beings that were once worshipped by people in Thedas. We don't really know much about them actually. And how does a Blight happen? It all starts when Darkspawn find and corrupt one of these Old Gods. This Old God turns into an archdemon and then leads the Darkspawn in a huge attack, also known as the Blight. The Blight causes a lot of chaos and destruction. Darkspawn spread a disease called the Taint, which poisons the soil, water, and just making whole areas infertile for like a really long time. And so, how do people survive a Blight? So because in current Dragon Age, they have survived 5 Blights, I believe, and that is where the Grey Wardens come in. They're the elite group tasked with fighting the Blight and are the only ones who can really stand against it, though the full truth is a bit mysterious. Grey Wardens are exceptional fighters with a unique connection to the Darkspawn. They're immune to the Darkspawn taint thanks to a special ritual called the Joining, where they drink Darkspawn blood, and this ritual is actually a secretive process because not everyone survives it. Why is it a secret? Because again, since not everyone survives drinking Darkspawn blood, so it would be better for them to keep it a secret.
Davith, step forward. sorry, Davith. Step forward, Jory.
But I have a wife, a child. Had I known...
There is no turning back.
No! You ask too much. There is no glory in this.
I am sorry.
And anyone in Thedas, whether they're poor, rich, elf, human, dwarfs, even Kunari, I guess, or even a criminal, can actually be recruited to join the Grey Wardens. But the real kicker is that stopping the Blight often requires a Grey Warden to make a big sacrifice. And by big sacrifice, I mean sacrificing themselves. And why do I say often? Because in Dragon Age, 99% of the time you will actually have to sacrifice a Grey Warden. But in Dragon Age Origins, you as the hero of Ferelden might even end up making that ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. But one of your companions, Morrigan, will actually give you a choice to not sacrifice your fellow Grey Wardens or yourself, so you actually have another choice.
I know what happens when the Archdemon dies. I know a Grey Warden must be sacrificed, and that sacrifice could be you. I have come to tell you that this does not need to be. I offer a way out for all the Grey Wardens, that there need be no sacrifice. A ritual, performed on the eve of battle, in the dark of night. What I speak of is old magic, a ritual from a time long before the Circle of Magi was ever created. Lay with me, here tonight, and from our joining, a child will be conceived. The child will bear the taint, and when the Archdemon is slain, its essence will seek the child like a beacon. At this early stage, the child can absorb that essence and not perish. The Archdemon is still destroyed, with no Grey Warden dying in the process.
But we are not going to be talking about that, so let's just remember that sacrifice is needed in stopping the Blight. Next, let's chat more about lyrium. So I've talked about this before. This magical substance is super important in Dragon Age and is mostly found deep underground. Only the dwarves, specifically the mining caste, can safely mine and process it. They have a unique way of finding lyrium veins by listening. They said that they can actually hear the stones sing. So they turn lyrium from a dangerous metal into a smooth, shiny liquid that's easier to use, and the exact process is a closely guarded secret, so no one really knows how the dwarves do it. But over time, dwarves have developed some resistance to lyrium, but they're not completely immune. Direct contact can still cause us issues like deafness or memory loss, so lyrium isn't just vital for dwarves. So again, as I've mentioned before, the Templars use it to boost their abilities and control mages. However, it is addictive, which helps keep them loyal to the Chantry, who controls the lyrium trade. Long-term use can lead to addiction, paranoia, and even dementia. Templars often struggle to tell reality from dreams and are most of the time haunted by their worst memories. We know this because we do have an epilogue where one of our companions or advisor called Cullen being addicted to lyrium, and the worst ending of all time. Like, why would you even make him do that? And other than the regular blue lyrium, there's also the red variant. Unlike the normal lyrium, red lyrium is a corrupted form of the substance. It's not only more dangerous but also highly addictive. Exposure to red lyrium can drive individuals mad and corrupt everything it touches, creating like a really big threat in the world. And since in Dragon Age Inquisition we touch more about red lyrium, We also know how it's harvested. I believe that the way that you harvest red lyrium is by making people drink red lyrium liquid, or like making them eat it, and then it will slowly grow out of your body. When it does grow out, they will be able to mine it. And I think that is not the only way, but I'm not quite sure. Let's finally dive into the ancient elven gods. Oh, I love them so much.
Every mother finds Druffalo among sleeping juniper groves. G something. The one with the deer.
What was that? Every mother finds Druffalo.
Oh, it's a memory aid to help me with the names of the elven gods. Every is Elgarnan. Mother is Mithal. Finds is Fallow something.
Are you sure that your memory aid caught all the elven gods?
Well, there's only one F for Falondine. Oh, I suppose I forgot Fenrir.
Most people do.
This isn't him, though. It's one of the ladies, obviously. G something.
Gillanan.
Yes! Brilliant, thank you. Oh, that would have bothered me all day.
The elves once worshipped a group of deities known as the Creators, and I actually have a mnemonic to remember them. So it goes something like this. Every mother fearlessly finds Druffalo among sleeping juniper groves. That stands for Elgarnan, Mithal, Fenharel, Falondine, Dirthaman, Andril, Silace, June, and Gillanan. Besides the Creators, there are also the Forgotten Ones, who are actually less important, but still. And in Dragon Age Inquisition, we learn that these gods were actually just powerful mages. They're not actually gods, but they are still a bit corrupted.
You said that the elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mithal was one of the Evanuris.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Evanuris were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evanuris.
Not really corrupt, they're just kinda evil. And Mithal, one of the goddesses, was betrayed and killed, which then drove Fenharel, her close friend, to a fury. Fenharel, also known as God of Trickster, he who hunts alone, the Dread Wolf, was one of the Creator's kin, but the Forgotten Ones also think of him as their friend. So with their trust, he led a rebellion and betrayed all of them. So Fenharel not only locked the Creators to the Fate by creating the Veil, but also sent the Forgotten Ones to the Abyss. He created the Veil to separate the worlds, but it ended up cutting off the magic vital to Elvenan, the place where the elves live. And without their gods and their magic, the elves soon fell into decline, eventually losing to the winter. We've talked about that before. And then they ended up enslaving the elves. Speaking of Fenharel, let's introduce Solus. He is a major figure in the series. In Dragon Age Inquisition, he first appeared as an apostate. He is not a Dalish nor a city elf. He is a romanceable companion, and I swear to God that his romance is one of the best romances ever in the history of gaming. I literally rotted for 10 years thinking about him, but I digress. He is one of the best written character because of all the deception, betrayal, and also plot twists. Even though he introduced himself as a humble apostate with a lot of knowledge, he is actually an ancient elf, and not just an ancient elf, he is also an ancient elven God. Remember, every mother fearlessly finds Drafalo among sleeping juniper groves, and how Fen'Harel banished every single god? So, who's the remaining god? That's right, Fen'Harel.
You're Fen'Harel.
I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride.
At the Trespasser DLC, he revealed himself to be Fen'Harel, the ancient elven god who locked the other gods away, but he doesn't really acknowledge himself as a god. And he created a veil and doomed all of elves. I wouldn't say he doomed them, but he thinks that's what happened at least. So, in Dragon Age Inquisition, it brings us into a world of turmoil. The game follows the rise of the Inquisition, which is an organization formed to address the chaos caused by a breach or a hole in the sky, which allows demons to enter the world. The Inquisitor, or you, is a key figure in this conflict. You also play a crucial role in confronting this threat and uncovering more mysteries. Other than romancing Solus, the Inquisitor is also able to become his friends or enemies or some sort. I don't really think they're enemies, more like they don't really see eye to eye.
I suspect you have questions.
Solus, have I ever wanted to hear one of your endless explanations? Ever.
Well then, briefly, I am the Dread Wolf. I fought the false elven gods, created the Veil, and destroyed my people.
So what you do in DAI will be very impactful to your progress in DATV, and if it follows the previous games, different choices will have different consequences in the next game. Finally, let's talk about Solus's plan. So what exactly is his plan?
I intend to restore them. Doing so will most likely destroy your world.
His ultimate goal is to restore the elven glory and destroy the Veil, even if that means releasing the evil gods. The exact consequences of tearing down the Veil are actually unclear, but we know it could lead to catastrophic results. In the DATV gameplay demo, we saw demons pouring out from tears in the veil, which might hint at how the world could end if Solus succeeds. As the Inquisitor, you have three choices with Solus again. You can either stop him kindly, make him reconsider his plans, or you can confront him more harshly. Alternatively, if you romance him, you can try to join him in tearing down the veil. If you choose the latter, however, Solus will tell you that this is his burden to bear alone, and he won't let you share it with him. And that is basically it, guys, and that's all Dragon Age Lore Dump Part 2 Spoilers Edition. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And remember, if you want to dive deeper, please check out other content creators' Dragon Age channels and videos for more detailed lore explorations. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye!